Welcome to our Conquer Every Cloud virtual event. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. I truly hope that wherever you're watching this event, you are staying safe, staying healthy, and managing through this challenging time. We have a packed agenda today, and we will be making several major announcements about extending our industry-leading data protection capabilities. You'll want to hear the news. We also have some terrific guest speakers, including Michelle Bailey, Group Vice President, General Manager, and IDC Research Fellow, Captain Scott Kelly, the NASA astronaut who holds the record for the most consecutive days spent in space by an American, and Dr. Michio Kaku, world-renowned physicist, futurist, and New York Times bestselling author. We recognize the impact and disruption the global pandemic continues to cause all across the world. For many organizations, this new normal has forced digital transformation efforts to accelerate in an unprecedented fashion. Consider the rapid shift to support a remote workforce as just one example, and accelerated cloud adoption yet another. There are many more. But rapid transformation isn't without challenges. Over the course of the last year, I've had many video conversations with CIOs from some of the largest enterprises in the world. Without getting on a plane, I've been able to visit Mumbai in the morning, have a lunch meeting in DC, and be home for dinner all in one day. 4 major themes are consistent across all these conversations: costs, cyber, cloud, and compliance. I call them the 4 C's. In terms of costs, CIOs speak to me about managing the explosion of data. There's already so much data, and it grows at 20 to 25% per year. How do you manage this when budgets are growing in the single digits? For cyber, the primary concern here is about resiliency in the face of ransomware threats. How do you ensure the business can run after the inevitable attack? With the cloud, the challenge is building a scalable private cloud and leveraging multiple public cloud providers. How do you standardize data management policies across all of these environments? And with compliance, the rising importance and sensitivity of data has stimulated government to create new and evolving regulations. How do you effectively abide by data regulations across disparate systems, clouds, and infrastructure? In a large, complex enterprises, how do we address these 4 C's? The question of how brings us to an important issue for IT leaders. Continue the status quo of a point product for each environment, or standardize on a platform that works across all environments? Both approaches offer pros and cons, but what makes the most sense going forward? Increasingly, the most dynamic enterprises want to standardize on a data platform to support their digital transformation. They want a platform that is open, flexible, and accommodating of their ever-changing IT environment across the edge, core, and cloud. They want APIs for integration and automation, proven performance for mission-critical workloads, dynamic, lightweight support for newer workloads like containers and cloud. They want operational simplicity and intuitive UIs, but not at the expense of fine-grained control. And most importantly, they want reliability, a vendor they can trust to deliver enterprise-grade technology that can scale. Veritas launched the Enterprise Data Services Platform to deliver on these needs. The Veritas Enterprise Data Services Platform has 3 pillars: availability for mission-critical applications and data, protection against ransomware and other catastrophes, and insights to drive down costs and ensure compliance. Since then, Veritas has continued to deliver against our strategy. In the last 6 months alone, we were named a leader in the Gartner MQ for backup and recovery for the 15th time in a row. We announced NetBackup 8.3, which unified native cloud snapshot support and resiliency orchestration with the #1 deployed backup and recovery solution in the enterprise. We were among the first to achieve AWS Outposts Ready designation. And we announced the acquisition of Globinet, extending our leadership in digital compliance. At the center of the platform, underpinning the protection pillar, is NetBackup, the world's most widely used enterprise data protection solution. And that's why I'm so excited to announce NetBackup 9. NetBackup 9 streamlines data protection management, ensures operational resiliency, and delivers customer choice with a single platform supporting any workload, any cloud, and any architecture at any scale. What's new in NetBackup 9? First, scale-out architecture with FlexScale. We offer scale-up deployment in several modes, including our purpose-built appliances, virtual appliances, and software. Today, we're announcing our new scale-out architecture, allowing customers to use scale-out where appropriate, while continuing to leverage NetBackup. Second, operational simplicity. The launch of NetBackup 9 further reinforces Veritas's focus on abstracting the complexity of enterprise IT. NetBackup 9 streamlines management of the most dynamic environments through orchestrated automation of discovery, protection, and recovery. Third, OpenStack support. NetBackup 9 includes new features to simplify enterprise data protection for mission-critical OpenStack environments. Utilizing OpenStack native APIs, NetBackup 9 delivers seamless integration, multi-tenant controls, and intuitive self-service management. And fourth, we continue to drive improvements in security and platform hardening, advancing NetBackup's industry-leading ransomware resiliency capabilities. Beyond NetBackup 9, we're advancing our overall enterprise data services platform strategy to deliver enterprise-grade data protection, security, and management capabilities for any workload. To that end, I'm thrilled to announce the acquisition of HubStore, which significantly expands our capabilities to address SaaS-based workloads such as Microsoft 365 and to deliver a complete backup-as-a-service solution built entirely on Microsoft Azure Cloud. Enterprise-grade technology, freedom of choice, and operational simplification has been at the core of Veritas for many years, and we continue to push the limits with today's announcements. Only NetBackup supports more than 800 different data sources, 1,400 storage targets, and all the major clouds, scale up, scale out, and cloud native, all from a single unified platform. That's why Veritas NetBackup is the clear favorite of the largest enterprises in the world. I'm so excited for what this means for our enterprise customers everywhere. Today, the power of the Veritas ecosystem and advanced technology will be on full display. Following my remarks, Doug Matthews, our VP of Product Management, will dive deeper into our commitment to help you conquer every cloud. I will interview Steve Young, NFL Hall of Famer and a personal friend, about the qualities of successful leadership. Please attend if your schedule permits. And I hope you'll stick around for our special guest speakers. Michelle Bailey, IDC Research Fellow, Captain Scott Kelly, former NASA astronaut, and Dr. Michio Kaku, world-renowned physicist and futurist. In closing, let me leave you with an important validation of our strategy from our very close partner, Microsoft. I'm pleased to welcome Chris Berry, Microsoft Vice President of Worldwide Enterprise and Commercial Strategy.
Thanks, Greg. And greetings, everyone. I'm Chris Berry, the Vice President of our Enterprise Commercial business here at Microsoft. I first want to express my excitement on our partnership and what I've personally witnessed coming out of Veritas team lately. Greg mentioned that our joint enterprise customers face an important choice ahead of them, and the answer to help address Greg's 4 C's is with a unified data protection and management platform that is open, flexible, and accommodating to the dynamic nature of their IT environments. And I couldn't agree more. To be honest, the concept of abstracting complexity, extending the freedom to move faster without diminishing the degree of control and reliability enterprises demand, is one of the biggest benefits customers gain from leveraging the Azure Cloud, Azure Stack, and the variety of other ways we support our customers here at Microsoft. Over the last several months, Microsoft has been working closely with Veritas on a variety of business transformation initiatives. Digital transformation is a key theme of our discussions as remote work and digital selling become the new normal. Microsoft's own digital transformation has helped us gain valuable insights on how we empower employees, engage our customers, optimize operations, and transform products. We are working closely with Veritas as we share our best practices, experiences, and learnings with each other along this journey. I'm also super excited by Veritas's announced acquisition of HubStore. Built entirely on Azure, HubStore delivers enterprise-grade backup and recovery capabilities for a variety of critical SaaS-based applications for our joint customers to rely on, such as Microsoft 365, including Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, OneDrive, and Teams, as well as other apps where customers are looking for a solution to protect their critical data. In addition to extended and expanded backup support for SaaS apps, the ability to offer true backup as a service solution to customers built natively on Azure gives customers seamless integration with their other services running on Azure as well. Plus, customers can take full advantage of the more than 60 Azure regions globally, meaning they're easily able to meet resiliency requirements without jeopardizing in-country data restrictions. In all, HubStore presents a very strategic and valuable addition to Veritas's already industry-leading enterprise data services platform. Now, early on in his remarks, Greg made reference to the impact and disruption the global pandemic continues to cause across the world. While this is the case, I think Greg agrees with me that while we've also observed many examples of perseverance, human decency, adaptation, resilience, and innovation over this time as well, I would like to echo those thoughts from all of us here at Microsoft. We are working hard to do our best to ensure the safety of our employees, striving to protect the health and well-being of the communities in which we operate, and providing technology, tips, and resources to our customers and the global community. While we can't predict when this global health crisis will end, many examples of giving inspire hope going forward. Thank you, everyone, and stay safe. Greg, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Chris. We have an exciting partnership to deliver value to our joint customers. I'd like to now turn the discussion over to Doug Matthews to lay out our approach to conquering every cloud. Thank you to everyone for your time today.
Thank you, Greg. As Greg mentioned, the events of 2020 drove digital transformation acceleration to unprecedented levels. In some cases, 3-year strategies were forced into 3-month executions, and the rate of change does not seem to be slowing one bit. Even as we look to turn the corner on the pandemic, the new normal of more remote work and thus more remote data and systems is continuing. Clearly, this crisis has had a tragic consequence for millions of people across the globe, but it has also triggered a tremendous acceleration in digital transformation. While it seems clear the pace of transformation will continue to accelerate, there is a risk. When transformation outpaces the organization's ability to manage data risks efficiently and cost-effectively, this creates a transformation gap. There are a number of reasons why. First, IT was forced to move swiftly in supporting new requirements such as an entirely remote workforce, as well as changing customer needs driven by health and hygiene sensitivities, which created a preference for remote interactions. In addition, there were supply chain disruptions, industry shutdowns, and having to work with ever-shifting regulations. Cloud technologies have been a big reason why organizations have been able to be so flexible and adapt to the current economic situation, evidenced by the accelerated growth in public cloud adoption. Another concern is that the tools and technologies relied upon to manage data risks are faced with an increasingly disparate and growing collection of data sources and infrastructure. Point solutions that made sense before the 2020 shift can rapidly become liabilities in this new normal. As the transformation progresses, we see legacy and modern workloads and infrastructure existing simultaneously. This used to be called hybrid cloud. Today, multi-cloud is more accurate, and it's also already the strategy of 94% of enterprise organizations. The longer this transformation gap persists, the more risk the organization is exposed to. So what are these risks and how do we address them? First, operational inefficiencies are emerging. We must meet both the performance demands of today's modern workloads and traditional applications while also being simple and easy to use. Using different technologies across edge, core, and cloud, or physical, virtual, and container architectures creates complexity while requiring different skill sets and operational procedures. These point solutions create these operational inefficiencies and drives the need to transform data management to a simple, easy-to-use platform, which is imperative in addressing this risk. Another risk is hidden costs. Through 2024 80% of enterprise organizations are likely to overspend by as much as 50% as a result of being unaware of mistakes made in their cloud adoption. These costs are avoidable. Optimize your environment before cloud migration and keep it optimized to avoid unnecessary spend. Finally, the data risk that is top of mind for many executives I speak with is the threat of a ransomware attack. 64% of senior executives say their ability to ensure data security lags behind because of the complexity of their IT environments. This same research indicates that an enterprise susceptibility to a ransomware attack is in no way tied to whether their IT infrastructure is more heavily on-premise or in the cloud, meaning attacks will happen regardless, and the cloud is not an automatic defense against attack. Of those organizations in the study that were hit with an attack, 38% of them still found themselves down for a week or longer. To properly protect multi-cloud environments, it isn't enough to simply be able to recover. We need to be able to do so quickly, to anywhere, from anywhere. We wanted to know what our customers thought about how to take on this transformation gap, so we asked them. At least 75% of our enterprise customers said they want a platform approach over point solutions. Rather than disparity, they want integration as they work to transform, optimize, and protect. They want APIs so they can plug into their evolving ecosystems. They want optimized support for all their workloads, not just the traditional, virtualized, modern, or open and cloud ones. They want simplicity with trust and reliability. They want cost effectiveness with performance for those most demanding workloads. They want versatility and extensibility with stability and confidence. And they want ransomware resiliency solutions that work across the entire digital estate. We've addressed many of these areas with NetBackup 9 and its integration across our extensive portfolio that make up the Enterprise Data Services platform. With NetBackup at its core, the platform boasts support for over 800 different data sources, 1,400 storage targets, 100 operating systems, and more than 60 clouds. As Greg already mentioned, with the launch of NetBackup 9, customers get to enjoy even more innovation. Now let's bring in Lisa Erickson, Director of Product Management for Cloud Data Protection, to explore some of these innovations in more detail. Welcome, Lisa.
Hi, Doug. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good.
So when we talk about solving problems for cloud data protection, what do we really mean?
Yeah, as our customers go through their journey for cloud between transform, protect, optimize, 3 core use cases come to mind. The first is to cloud, and this is backup, archive, tier to cloud. The second is backup and recovery in cloud. So it's as you transform and now you're running your applications or workloads in the cloud, how do you go ahead and back up and recover, especially across a multi-cloud environment. And the third piece is really resiliency, and that's resiliency to cloud, across clouds, in a cloud, for DR and migration purposes.
That makes sense. So with all these use cases and complexities in mind, what are we doing to help our customers?
Yeah, for the last several years, we've been tackling these to cloud, in cloud, and resiliency use cases, whether that is our Cloud Catalyst capabilities for our customers to tier or archive or store directly to cloud, or what we have done with CloudPoint for multi-cloud snapshot orchestration across Azure, GCP, and AWS, or whether that's the resiliency platform, which allows our customers to migrate and use cloud as a DR target, whether that be AWS or Azure. So we've been delivering on that for the last few years. And we continue to innovate in this area because what we see with customers is that it's not just the adoption of what's on premises and what's in cloud, it's also bridging that. And a lot of these platform vendors have begun to do that with things like Azure Stack and Outpost. So we continue to innovate through that entire spectrum to provide our customers with a uniform solution. In addition, we have paid very close attention to and have innovated for things like VMware Private Cloud. So that's why we have such a comprehensive solution in that area, so that when we have a customer, especially a large enterprise, where they're building their own clouds and often building their own multi-clouds, and using VMware to do so, they have a comprehensive data protection solution.
That makes sense. It sounds like just a ton of different platforms and complexity. You mentioned private cloud. We're talking about something really exciting in this session, some new work that we've been doing for OpenStack. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, that's really exciting for us. We've been supporting OpenStack data protection for a while now from a base backup and recovery perspective, but what we've recently done is accelerated that, not just from a capabilities perspective in terms of how you back up and recover, storage targets, application awareness in an OpenStack environment, but full integration into the native capabilities of OpenStack. So making sure that the data protection and recovery capabilities are relevant to that environment. So that's things like direct integration into OpenStack Horizon. So a provider of an OpenStack cloud can have its users come in and do self-service backup and recovery directly in that environment, or integration into OpenStack security controls around role-based access and control with things like Keystone support.
This is so exciting for me and you. We're delivering this new capability for OpenStack. We're doing so by acknowledging and being best in breed on that platform, yet bringing uniformity across all these different platforms we support, helping customers transform, optimize, and protect across all of their key workloads. It's pretty exciting. And stepping back, the one workload that you've mentioned is Azure and Azure Stack. What are we doing there?
Yeah, so that's a very interesting one for us because obviously a lot of our customers have Windows-based applications, compute that need to be protected in a traditional data center. And we've been doing that for a long time. I already mentioned what we've been doing on the public cloud side of it with Azure, but more recently, we've been working a lot with Microsoft on that in-between, right? So Azure Stack support, as well as some of these customers want to run the existing estate or transform that existing estate over into Azure, things like support for Azure VMware services. So we recently had a chance to talk to Microsoft about our partnership and the deeper innovations that we're doing. Let's take a look at that.
Hi, everyone. I'd like to welcome Vamshi from Microsoft. He's here to talk to us about our partnership and some of the innovation we've been doing together. Hi, Vamshi.
Hi, Lisa. Nice to connect again. I'm a product manager in the Azure storage team, responsible for our object storage platform, our backup, and our partnerships, including the strategic partnership with Veritas.
Thank you so much for joining, Vamshi. We're very excited about our Microsoft partnership. We've been working together for a very, very long time trying to solve our joint customer needs.
Yeah, absolutely. The Veritas and Microsoft partnership goes back more than 2 decades with all of our work on server and other things for customers. And even on the cloud, we've been partnering now for more than 6 years, and it's been awesome to see all of the innovation that Veritas has brought to the table for our customers.
Yeah, and we look forward to that continuing too. And so maybe that's a good place to start is with customer needs and challenges and what we've been seeing. So I think, on the Veritas side of things and how we view this for cloud data protection is we are trying to solve against 3 core use cases, to cloud, data protection in cloud, and then obviously resiliency, and then trying to provide our customers with a uniform and complete solution across edge, core, and cloud. And what we've seen more recently is customers coming to this, adopting a lot more Azure on the different pieces of the Azure portfolio to try to both simplify their operating environment, but coming to us and then expecting all of our capabilities across that environment. What is Microsoft seeing?
Yeah, no, I think you nailed it, Lisa. It's this journey to the cloud for a lot of customers started with cloud as a offsite backup location or cloud as a DR location, and we still see a lot of customers using Azure for that with net backup, and it's a great first step. It allows customers to optimize their environment, save a lot of cost in terms of not having to have a DR data center or an offsite copy that takes a very long time for recovery. More recently, as you've observed, cloud native data protection is definitely where the puck's at. More and more customers are moving into Azure, moving their workloads to Azure, and they want and expect the same kind of enterprise capabilities that is provided by Veritas on premises in Azure, and we've been doing a lot of work on those things.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that makes sense for us to maybe highlight some of the core key things that Veritas and Microsoft have recently done. I would like to point out for our customers, 3 things, not rehash everything that we support and the work we've done. The first one really being the optimized deduplication support we're bringing to Azure Archive in this 9 release. I think that has a lot of value for our customers. The second is our day 0 AVS, or Azure VMware Solution support, that we recently announced for Net Backup. And the third is our expanding capabilities across data protection and resiliency inside of Azure Stack. I mean, I think that touches on all 3 of the core of those use cases. I wonder if you could comment from a Microsoft perspective across Archive and AVS and Azure Stack, the value that you see here and how that's serving customer needs.
Yeah, no, these are all great features, Lisa, and it's been fantastic working with your engineering team on developing these features over the last little while. Let me kind of break it down for each of them. On the archive support, it's a great cost optimization and efficiency for customers who have compliance needs and long-term retention needs that are in the many years or even many decades. Archive is a very low-cost, deep archive tier on Azure. The cost is about $10,000 a petabyte a year. So having, coupling net backups, dedupe capabilities, and being able to write natively to this tier is going to be fantastic in terms of cost savings, and that's something that's super important as more and more IT departments have to kind of squeeze more into less. And the AVS is another great example of that cloud native data protection and having the capabilities there. Azure VMware Solution is a new offering, but we heard loud and clear from customers who were bringing their VMware environments that they wanted enterprise class data protection in this managed service, just like they do have it on-prem. And for all net backup customers, the fact that we have this nice seamless ability for you to migrate your workload, but then keep all those data protection resiliency capabilities is huge. And on the last point about Edge and the Edge investments, I think Veritas was a leader in partnering with us and really providing support for Azure Stack and Azure Stack Edge. And these continue to see increased traction as customers have data residency needs in countries where we don't have an Azure region yet, or we may never have an Azure region. And as well as, sort of places where you need to bring computation, those AI and ML capabilities, closer to where the data is produced. A good example of this is the IoT sensor feeds and video data feeds and other things that happen on factory floors for quality assurance and safety. And you need a very tight loop ability to respond to things happening there. But just as important is, data protection and resiliency and recovery, because these are mission critical environments. And again, having Veritas provide that support for our joint customers has been fantastic.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And so thank you for joining me today. Thank you to all our customers. I hope we've given you some insight into our partnership and the work we're doing together. Thanks so much, Vamshi.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. It's great to talk with all of our shared customers. And thank you to all of the customers for pushing us to be better and building better products together for all of you.
What great content. What a wonderful partnership we have with Microsoft. Lisa, so today we talked about a lot of different topics. Where can people look to get more information?
Look for the upcoming deeper dive sessions on OpenStack and multi-cloud data protection and recovery that we have a few of our team members presenting later in the conference.
Oh, sounds like great sessions. Yeah. So thank you so much for your time today. Now let's change direction a bit. Up till now, we've delivered the definition of enterprise-grade data protection to over 87% of the Fortune 500 with net backup in every single deployment model, from software-defined to build your own, purpose-built appliance, or scale up, except one, scale out hyperconverged. But as Greg also mentioned earlier, that ends today with the announcement of FlexScale, a scale-out hyperconverged consumption choice in net backup 9. With that, let me welcome Tim Berlowski, Senior Director of Product Management for Appliances, to discuss our new FlexScale capability. Welcome, Tim.
Thanks, Doug. Great to be here.
So, Tim, tell me, NetBackup 9, FlexScale, what's everything about? What are we talking about?
That's a great question. And really, we're solving the same problems we've always had. How do I back up my data? How do I meet my SLAs? And how do I get the data back if I need it? And this is just another way to solve those things. Now, we have customers who are starting to build scale-out farms for their primary compute infrastructure, things for their virtualized infrastructure. And they're looking at that and saying, I want that same option for my data protection infrastructure. And that's what they're coming to us for.
So, at NetBackup 9, what are we doing differently?
We're providing a true scale-out solution. And that means you'll have a system that can grow on a node-by-node basis where we've mixed server, storage, and compute all into a single node. And as your environment grows, you can continue to grow with it while not really having to change or administer it differently. And that's a big advantage.
So we keep talking about scale out over and over. That seems to be the big industry buzzword. Is it really that important? Is that what it's all about here, or what are we talking about?
That's a great question. It's like the classic question, would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or 1,000 duck-sized horses?
Oh my gosh, Tim, I don't want to fight either one of those. but tell me more, you're losing me.
You know, in the enterprise IT world, you can build a bigger and bigger and bigger system. And it starts to get really complicated. It's a single point of failure, and to guard against those failures, you make it more and more complicated. What the industry has found, particularly in cloud, is you can build a very reliable service out of a set of services that are small pieces. And so you have many servers acting together as one, and that's what we're doing in our scale-out solution. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't great places for scale-up, like we've had in NetBackup for years. In fact, it's a lot more cost-effective at the smaller end of the spectrum.
I think it sounds like it's all really about choices, and you know, I get asked all the time, Tim, you know, what do I choose? Do I choose appliance? Do I choose, you know, what? How do you respond to that question?
That's a great question. And for the years I've been with NetBackup, it's always been about choice. For us, we want to make sure the customer can choose the right architecture to solve the job. That means we have customers who choose scale-up solutions. We have customers who choose our open storage solutions. We have customers who still choose tape, and we continue to support them. Really, FlexScale is all about adding to this ecosystem a new dynamic way to manage NetBackup at scale for the largest enterprises who prefer a different style architecture.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Absolutely.
Taken together, all of the innovations we have released for NetBackup provide the first real opportunity customers have to reject point products that only address a piece of the puzzle and standardize on a platform optimized to handle the diversity of needs in today's multi-cloud enterprise without the trade-offs, allowing you to conquer every cloud. Whether you prefer build your own software-defined data protection and resiliency, data protection cost and performance optimized for edge environments, scale up or hyper-converged scale out for modern apps, we have you covered. It's all one NetBackup. We have a bunch of amazing planned content coming up in breakouts and other sessions like Dr. Kaku, who I personally really enjoy hearing from because I always learn something new and exciting. So thank you, and please stay tuned to hear more.